NFL head coaches are dropping like flies. The BCS championship is less than a week away, and it's our favorite time of year, NFL playoffs. Hi guys, and welcome back to This Week in Football. We have been on a 2-week sabbatical or a 3-week sabbatical? 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. I'm your host, Erica Renee Davis, and joining me today are Mo Ali.
What up?
What up, Mo?
What up, Beats?
Darren Dodge.
Woo!
And our University of Florida college football resident who's wearing his Florida hat so proudly, Cody Swan via Skype.
Absolutely. I had to run and go get it before the show. I had to rep somehow. Something to celebrate this year. I'll take it.
You know what, Cody? I'm really jealous of you. You know, my dog's lost, so I'm just going to be hating on you today. But guys, thank you for joining us again. We've been gone. Hope you had a great holiday season and are having a fantastic 2011 so far. We've got a lot of news to talk about today. But remember, before we go into our news segment, you have to always remember to tweet us at TWI Football or to email us at football@thisweekend.com. Now, guys, the Weeze is not with us today, so me and Mo and Cody and Darren are going to hold it down, and Andrea's in the chat room, so make sure you talk to Andrea and tell her whatever you want to tell her to tell to us. Let's start with some news. Guys, coaching news around the NFL is crazy. On my way over here, I found out that Tom Cable from the Raiders is out. Of course, Mike Singletary got fired. You have Tom Coughlin, who's actually still in at New York for some reason, and Marvin Lewis actually is still in at the Bengals for whatever reason I don't know. But we got Mangini's out. We got Raiders coach out. Who else is out, guys? We have Rich Rod from Michigan is out. What's going on?
Do any of you guys know what the record is for NFL in reference to coaching changes? Does anybody...
For what, this year?
Well, right now, what are we at, like 5 or 6?
Let's see, we got Jason Garrett, who replaced Wade Phillips. We have Chile, who was out in Minnesota. We got Raiders, that's 3. We got Mangini, that's 4. Fifth one, Singletary, 5. So that's 5. 5 coaches are gone already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet that there's going to be more by the end of the year.
Who else could be gone, though?
I personally think that at the end of the year, all of these guys who replaced the coaches that, were trashed, I think they'll probably be trashed as well. Because I think, the teams are going to go out and be like, all right, now let's find a new viable head coach. Very rarely do they actually, stick with the assistant coach and be like, all right, buddy, it's your team now. We're going to give you a couple of years.
So let me ask both of you guys a question.
Okay.
Who do you think of all you two, Cody, let me ask you in there as well, who do you think of all the people that got fired was the least deserving?
The least deserving head coach firing? Kill me, but I'm gonna say Mike Singletary. I mean, look, you guys have been looking I think that Mike Singletary is crazy. He's erratic, but and guys, don't forget about Josh McDaniels from Denver. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea just reminded me from the chat room that Josh McDaniels.
6.
So that's 6, yeah. I kind of think that Mike Singletary was the one person who was not as deserving to get fired as the others, just because I feel like he's such a motivator, and I know it takes more than just being a motivator to win, but I feel like he really put his heart and soul into that team. And his outgoing statement, he was really sincere, saying that he wishes that he could have done more for the team, and he just seemed like he was coming from a really sincere place. I feel like he's a good guy. Maybe I'm a sucker for good guys, but he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, but
Am I a sucker?
I'm a huge 49ers fan,
yeah.
But so is one of the studio guys here. He just told me that our new general manager we just hired somebody today, and he's supposed to be really good friends with Jim Harbaugh, and that's what they're talking about would be coming to the 49ers, which would be apparently huge.
Yeah, humongous.
So, yeah, I love Singletary as well. I really liked him, but it might be better for the team. What do you think, Cody?
I'm going with Josh McDaniels. I mean, here's a guy who really didn't have a chance to do much at all. That said, I think that everyone who got the boot pretty much deserved it. I don't feel strongly about that one way or another, but here's a guy that a year ago people were sort of hailing as a disciplinarian who was going to turn that team around and get them back to the playoffs. I don't think they've won a playoff game since, I don't know, maybe they won one playoff game since Elway was there, if one. And so he was sort of hailed as getting them back on track. And they get off to a bad start this year, and next thing you know, he's out of there, which was kind of surprising they pulled the trigger so early. Things haven't turned around, so I can imagine him going at the end of the season. but him going in the middle of the season like that was surprising. But I think he deserved it.
I can understand that. And then I guess for Mike Singletary, I mean, everyone who's looking at me like, yeah, Mike Singletary deserved to go. I mean, they did go 0-5 to start the season. And in the NFC West, like, he totally could have won the NFC West. So I guess maybe he was not the least deserving, but maybe he was the most deserving. Now, Cody, you're a college football expert, and Darren, Michigan is your team. So what are you guys thinking about the Rich Rod firing?
Well, the thing that's so stupid that I keep hearing is, oh, he just wasn't a Michigan guy. He just wasn't a Michigan guy. That's so stupid. The Big Ten in general is just awful. They're so steeped in tradition, as they want to say, that they reject a coach who sort of comes in with a non-traditional Big Ten offense. And I think he could have been really successful there. The problem, I don't think really was Rich Rodriguez, but the fact that he didn't really have the support from the boosters and the people around the program there. I think that actually more so than anything, his offense can work in the Big Ten. The problem that I saw, other than the lack of support from the institution and from the people around the program, was it's tough to play in the Big Ten and not have an offense similar to the other teams in the Big Ten. And it can prevent a great advantage, which I think he was getting to, but it can also be a big disadvantage because it's a spread offense where there's not a lot of contact in practice. The defense isn't going against a lot of getting a lot of physical contact in practice because they're playing against the spread every week. And then they go into conference play and they're playing a smash mouth type football. And that was really the downfall of Rich Rodriguez with the defense. And I think more so than anything, they just need to figure out a way to get the defense used to playing against those types of offenses, because the offense did score at will against those defenses, and I knew it would. But it's the defense couldn't stop the offense as well. And if like I keep going back to, if he would have had support, if he would have had a little bit more time to figure it out, I think he could have figured out a way to get that defense used to playing against Big Ten offenses. He just wasn't given that chance.
Well, Darren, I mean, were you so ready to get Rich Rod out of there? I mean, or are you indifferent? Do you think that they should be giving him another year, at least 4 years, to get his whole recruiting class out of there? I mean,
I didn't really like him as a coach. I mean, he did some, and I think Cody was completely right by saying, like, he wasn't a Michigan guy.
Yeah.
You hear that all the time in the Michigan program. And honestly, I think Michigan's going to continue to fire coaches 2 to 4 years in until they become that team that they used to be, you know? And I just don't see it. It's going to take the perfect coach to bring Michigan back to how it was.
Well, Jim
and they're
Harbaugh's
expecting
been
it
in the
like
situation.
a year.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh from Stanford has been in the conversation about whether or not he's going to go to Michigan, as well as being in the conversation about going to San Francisco possibly. But I don't think he's going to take the Michigan job. Why would he leave Stanford and then go across the country to Michigan to a team that has done absolutely nothing in the past 7 years? I don't see it happening.
Plus, it's different football. Football is very different in the cold.
True, good point. Cody, what were you going to say?
I think they should go back. I think that Harbaugh's a stretch. I think that he wants to get to the NFL. I think he's an NFL guy, even though that is his alma mater. If I'm Michigan, I'm looking back at Les Miles. I mean, as much as I hate that man, just because he's had such weirdly voodoo black magic success against Florida and other SEC teams, he's someone who is very passionate about the tradition around college football, and he's a Michigan guy.
He's a Michigan guy, yes, Les Miles.
So, as dumb as I think that is, it's obviously important to the decision makers around Michigan. So he's someone that I go back to if Harbaugh turns Michigan down.
Well, guys, before we go into our Ask a Bookie segment that Mo's going to kind of head up today because Weeze is not here, what about Leslie Frazier staying in as the head coach at Minnesota? How do you guys feel about that? I mean, he's no longer the interim. Now he's a head coach. I'm not sure how I feel about Leslie Frazier being the head coach. Honestly, I mean, 3-3 once he took over for Chile. I mean, the guys obviously like him, but something to me about Leslie Frazier does not say, head coach, I'm going to get my team to the NFC Championship next year. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a gut feeling, or maybe it's just that he doesn't really have the record to prove that he can be the head coach kind of leader. I feel like Leslie Frazier could be the guy, like Darren said, who will be getting the
right
boot
after the season.
At the end of the season. What do you think?
I completely agree. Like, I was watching the game this weekend, or last weekend, and I was just like, I don't see this guy as a head coach. I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to stick around, you know? Like, when the camera panned to him, I was like, that's not my head coach.
No,
right there.
not at all, not at all.
Yeah, no, like, I really think he's getting the boot after the year.
Andrea, you're in the chat room. You're the Minnesota girl in the house. So how do you feel about Leslie Frazier? And Mo, how do you feel about Leslie Frazier?
Personally, they've got a lot of talent on that team over there, so it's just him putting it together. I mean, I think anything can happen. They're solidified in a lot of different positions. You got Sidney Rice, you got Percy Harvin, you got Adrian Peterson, you got a pretty strong offensive line. The defense was supposed to be really good. The whole quarterback mess imploded that whole team.
True.
So you don't know. They could come out next year and be rock solid. We don't know what's gonna.
I think that depends on the draft and how they trade. Because they need a new quarterback in there, and they need somebody who can carry and work with all those great players.
Webb, though, I know Webb probably cannot. But he did a great job. He did a great job against the Eagles. Now, I don't know if
That was one game.
I heard the announcer say, like, I think they might have found a new quarterback. And I was like, come on, man.
I feel you on that, Darren. I feel you on that. But, he did a great job wasn't he like a wide receiver? Wasn't he drafted as a wide receiver or something crazy like that? So, Webb, maybe they can produce and cultivate his talents and make him the next Minnesota phenom. Maybe I'm dreaming. I don't know. I'm dreaming.
Well, listen, I'm rooting for this guy. I'm rooting for Frazier. Let's see what happens. So.
Okay. All right, guys, let's go into our Ask a Bookie segment. Now, again, Weez is not here today, so...
That's your bookie.
So Mo is the bookie. Now, guys, remember this face. This is not the face of Weez, just the face of Weez.
I am not a bookie. I do not take any bets. I lose a lot of money to the Weez. As a matter of fact, I probably have a worse record than Cody this year, which is hard to believe.
But not a worse record than me. I had the worst record ever in the history of betting.
It's incredible.
But I digress.
So what I'll do right now is I'll give Weez his picks. He called them in to me, so you guys can at least have them for yourselves. So basically, it's become kind of clear what he does every week. He takes the underdog across the board, which he's done every week, because for the house to make money, the underdog has to come in.
Exactly.
So I'll go through the games, and I'll tell you what his picks were. So he likes the Jets plus 2.5 against Indianapolis. He likes Kansas City plus 3 at Baltimore. He likes Green Bay plus 2.5 at Philly. And he likes, this is the surprise one, this is interesting, he likes Seattle plus 10.5 against New Orleans.
Okay. Did he give us a pick on the Oregon-Auburn game?
No, he didn't give us a pick over
Okay.
there. He did say his lock of the week was the Jets plus 2.5 at Indy. So that's his. If you're going to take any one of his picks, that's the one he wants to focus on.
I'd take that bet. That's a pretty good bet.
Okay, so we're going to come back to Weez's locks each game we discuss. Well, let's start with the Oregon versus Auburn BCS championship game that is 6 days away. Oh, by the way, Cody, what's going on with that Sugar Bowl? Please tell me that Arkansas is coming back.
No, it's 28-10. Ryan Mallett's still getting harassed all over the place. This is tough to watch. I really hate to see a Big Ten team win anything, and especially when it's Ohio State. But it looks like they're about 2 quarters from pulling out a back-to-back BCS bowl wins, which just makes me want to vomit on my computer.
Okay, well maybe we won't have to vomit. Maybe Arkansas can stage the comeback. Okay, but Oregon versus Auburn, BCS championship game. I'm really looking forward to this game, guys. I mean, Cam Newton has had the season from heaven, and LaMichael James has had a pretty great season too. I mean, he's not the quarterback at Oregon, but he's probably the most notable offensive player for Oregon. I think this one is gonna be a shootout because Auburn can put up points, and of course Oregon likes to put up 50+ points per game. But I'm really interested in seeing, Cody, who you are taking, and then who you guys are taking in this game.
You see this over under?
Oh.
Yeah, saw that. It was crazy. 74.
What is it? What 74?
74. The over-under is 74.
So take the under on that. Auburn's gonna win. Auburn's gonna win 35-14. It's gonna be a blowout. And there's nowhere where you can say Oregon has an advantage over Auburn. Auburn has a very, very fast defense. If they have a weakness, it's their secondary. Although that certainly wasn't a weakness in their last game against South Carolina. But if you were to point to somewhere on their defense that said was weakness, it'd be their deep secondary. And Oregon isn't equipped to take advantage of that. They're really not. They're a team that's built around speed. And newsflash, Auburn has an extremely fast defense led by that defensive front. I just don't see anywhere where Oregon has an advantage. Now, again, I said the same thing again about Stanford, talking about it amongst my friends here, that I didn't believe really in any Pac-10 team. How much credit I put in their victory over Virginia Tech is yet to be seen, but I really think the Pac-10 is kind of just built around speed, and they're not going to have that advantage playing an SEC opponent.
I'm of course inclined to take Auburn because I'm an SEC girl, but I don't know that Auburn can blow out Oregon. I mean, Oregon had that one bad game against Cal this year, but besides that, they've been putting up 45, 50 points against, of course, Pac-10 teams are not as solid or as competitive, I don't think, as an SEC team like Auburn is this year. But Oregon still, they know how, their quarterback, Darren Thomas, he can throw some bullets down the field. LaMichael James, Heisman finalist. His yards, his rushing yards rather, have been amazing this year. So I'm afraid to say that Auburn's going to blow out Oregon. Mo, Darren?
I'm just looking forward to a good game. I'm surprised the spread. I'm surprised the spread was 2.5. I thought it would be a bigger spread in favor of Auburn, obviously, but it's 2.5 makes it a tough pick. I would obviously like to see Oregon win the game.
Okay. Are you Pac-10?
I'm rooting for the underdog, man. I'm ACC, University of Miami. So
boy.
I'm a hater of the SEC over there. You got Florida in there, So I gotta hate on them a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll root for Auburn. Oregon. Excuse me for the underdog.
Okay. So you're taking Oregon.
Yes.
Okay, and Cody's taking Auburn. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
and Darren. Is that an A or a...
Auburn's going to take this one.
Okay.
Look for Cam Newton to just be like scrambling, and gone. Just gone.
Okay.
Exactly. How is Oregon going to stop Cam Newton? They're not. There's no way. And by the way, what is this going to make? If Auburn wins this, that's going to make, what, 5 national titles in a row for the SEC? 6?
Yeah.
5 or 6?
5 or 6, yeah.
That is ridiculous. I know Mo likes to call us SEC elitists, but, that's complete domination. That's ridiculous. You might as well at that point, crown the SEC champion, the national champion, because
that's true.
It's just getting out of control. It's getting out of control, and I love it.
I agree. It sucks. It really sucks, and it's getting out of control.
Well, I'm taking,
unfair.
of course, an SEC girl that I am. I'm gonna say War Damn Eagle, taking Auburn.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Get one last word in on that. I don't think that Oregon's going to be able to stop Cam Newton, and this is why, whoever they spell on him, it'll probably be like a linebacker. He's not going to be fast enough to keep up with him.
Or strong enough.
And they put a fast guy on it, a corner or something. He's not going to be strong enough to stop him. And they're going to have to spell him. So I'm guessing a middle linebacker, and he'll just run off to the side, bring that guy out, and he'll know to throw where that hole is.
Okay, so Auburn it is, and that's going to be all for our college picks this week because there's no other important game happening. So we're moving on to New York Jets at the Colts. Now, Peyton Manning has really done an awesome job of keeping his team being, remaining relevant. They're still relevant. When they were 6-6, I was like, oh, the Colts, they're not going to make playoffs, but they're in the playoffs. 9th consecutive season. So is it going to be a Jets playoff win or a Colts playoff win? Mo and Darren, what do you guys think?
You can take
I know, this is a hard one. So Darren, you go first.
I'll start it off. I think that the Jets are going to win.
You think the Jets are going to win?
But this is the problem with Peyton Manning. I mean, the guy could suck all year like he has, but you never know when he's just going to explode and throw 7 touchdown passes in a game.
But the way he's been playing lately, he could explode and throw 7 interceptions in a game.
Exactly.
So
that's why I'm going with the Jets. They've been solid all season. I think that it's been in their mind all season that we're getting to the Super Bowl, and they've had their eyes on the prize the whole way. So I think that they're definitely going to win this game.
So the Jets are going to win on the field, and you're going to take them, obviously, with the points still.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mo?
I'll take Indianapolis. I got him. I had him a while ago as my team from the AFC. It's hard for me to bet against Peyton Manning. I got a lot of faith in him. I mean, even though technically they shouldn't even be here. I don't know if you watched the Tennessee game. That was horrendous. But it's Peyton, right? I mean, it is, right?
It's Peyton Manning. And, regardless of how animated Rex Ryan has been lately with, it's personal against Peyton Manning, it's personal against, Freeney, or regardless of the foot fetish stuff going on with his wife.
Right. I heard about that. We should have showed that. We should have showed that video, right?
Yeah, the footage from his wife sticking her foot out the window.
You don't know about this, Cody?
I didn't hear about this. No.
Oh, they're talking all about it in South Florida.
Hey, Cody, Google it. We got to talk football, but Google Rex Ryan's wife foot fetish. Okay, so regardless of all the distractions, I think that the Jets have it in them to win, but I'm going to go with the veteran, with the pro, with the tried and true Super Bowl champ. I'm taking Indy.
They're playing at home, too.
And they're playing at home. Cody, who do you got?
What's the line? What's the line here? What are we talking about?
2.5.
2.5 for the
Indy's favored by 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take Indy for sure.
Okay. Cool.
You know me. I hate the Jets. I mean, I don't hate the Jets personally. I think they're right up there with as the most overrated team this year.
Okay. So we have, and Weeze was what on that? Mo, tell us again.
The Weeze's lock.
That's
period
Weeze's lock.
For the week was the Jets.
Wow. Okay. So hopefully Weeze is wrong. Weeze, if you're somewhere out there watching, hopefully you're wrong and that we're right. My record sucks. I need a win. Okay. Moving on to Kansas City at the Ravens. Now the Ravens were my AFC Super Bowl pick. I'm going to change that later on, but I'm sorry, I'm going to change it. But the Kansas City-Baltimore game, I think it's a shoe-in for the Ravens. What do you guys think?
I agree with you. I think that's the lock.
Yeah.
Right here. It's the Ravens -3 in this one. I think they're going to, at home against Kansas City, who shows up sometimes, doesn't show up, lost to the Raiders. I don't understand how the spread's only 3 points here. Something's off. When it looks too good to be true, though,
That's true.
Could be a sucker's bet. So,
Darren, what do you think about the Ravens in the Kansas City game?
Baltimore.
Baltimore's
going to win that.
I think so too, easily. I mean, who else do the Chiefs have besides Matt Castle? I don't even know anyone else on their team. Like, honestly, that's ignorant, but I really don't. Cody, who do you have?
Wait, Mo, you didn't say this is a home game for the Ravens, did you?
Yeah, it's got it. Oh no, it's at Kansas City. Right.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why it was.
I'll take it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'll take the Chiefs as home dogs for sure. I think they'll.
Nice.
I don't think they'll win on the field, but I think it's going to be like a 2-point game. It's going to be. The weather is going to be conducive to them. They're going to be jacked up for their first playoff game in a long time. Yeah, exactly. And so I'll take the Chiefs in this one. I like them at home.
I'm going to do like Weeze does me, Cody. Can you name me 2 offensive players and 2 defensive players on Kansas City's team?
2 offensive players, Matt Castle and Dwayne Bowe. Defense, heck no.
Okay, so then maybe you should change your pick and go with the Ravens.
Louise is very wrong about the Patriots all year, though.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so Cody has Kansas City. Mo, Darren, and I have the Ravens. And Andrea in the chat room. Who do you got, Andrea, in the chat room? Andrea picks, let's see.
Ravens.
Andrea picks the Ravens. Smart girl. All right, guys. Now let's move on to the most nerve-wracking game of the week, for me at least. I know, Cody, you cannot wait to talk noise about this Philadelphia game. I know you can't wait. So before you go into your whole spiel about how Michael Vick is the most overrated quarterback on one of the most overrated teams, I'm going to have to say that I'm going to say a little prayer for the Eagles because they're going to need it up against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. So I will do my pick last so I can piggyback off of someone else because I'm not sure who I want to pick. Mo?
I'll go with Philly. I feel confident about this with Philly. I've been a strong Michael Vick supporter all year while you guys were hating on him, especially Cody over there. Started off hating on him bad, the whole stripper thing. I'm all about the Eagles. I mean, I think he's the most dynamic player in the NFL this year, and I think he's going to take him to the promised land. So
to the promised land, meaning the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think he'll take him to the Super Bowl. So
This year. Okay, so we know who your NFC pick is.
It's on paper.
All right. Okay, Darren, Green Bay or Philadelphia?
I'm with Mo. I think Philly's going to take it.
2.5 points.
Yeah. No problem.
Cody?
I'm going with the Packers. I like them to win that game on the field. Here's how the NFL goes. These teams played in Week 1, and Green Bay was a Super Bowl favorite and a heavy favorite in that game. And you fast forward the whole season, and now it's sort of the positions are reversed. But Green Bay hit a little lull there toward the latter quarter of the season. But they're really getting back on track. Aaron Rodgers looks like his old self. The defense is coming back too, and I really like them to not just cover the spread, but I like them to win on the field.
Cody, this is such a hard one for me because one person I am very, very afraid of on Green Bay's defense is Clay Matthews. Mo, you and I were talking about how crazy talented and agile and just athletic Clay Matthews is. I think that Clay Matthews might be Mike Vick's worst nightmare, and he might just be the worst nightmare for the entire game as far as the Eagles trying to. Why are you laughing?
Yeah. No, I was just sorry. My mind went somewhere else. I was like, his worst nightmare are pit bulls. I was like,
Clay Matthews kind of looks like a dog, so it makes sense.
Wait, speaking of Clay Matthews, have you guys seen that commercial for Duchenne that he does?
No, I haven't seen it.
No. Oh, well, never mind. But I kept thinking he was trying to cure your shadow. And he was talking about curing Duchenne, which is a disease.
I've seen the commercial. Okay. We got to stay focused. I have seen the commercial, though.
Only way Philly's losing is Mike Vick gets hurt.
So if Mike Vick does not get hurt, I'm taking Philly.
Yeah,
perfect.
But okay, my pick is Philly. I'm not going to be a poor sport. My pick is Philly. Andrea, who's your pick? I think your pick is Philadelphia.
Philly.
Tell the chat room.
Die Philly. Green Bay.
Andrea hates Green Bay. Okay, that's understandable. All right, we have another game, the New Orleans Saints, who I personally hate the Saints. They came down to Atlanta and beat my team, and I picked Atlanta to win. So why are you shrugging your shoulders at me, dear?
Because I like the Saints.
Oh, I forgot that's your second team.
A second team.
Well, I hate the Saints, and I hope they die a slow, painful death in Seattle. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
That's how I feel.
Isn't this the Weeze's lock? He says Seattle's going to take it? Or
no, he likes Seattle. His lock was the Jets. But he likes Seattle.
I don't know what he's thinking on this one, man. I'm taking New Orleans the whole way. They're definitely going to beat Seattle. Seattle hasn't shown me too much this year.
Seattle hasn't shown anybody anything except that you can have a 7-9 record and still
make the
playoffs. However, Mike Williams on offense, the wide receiver, who's the third string, the second string quarterback? What's his name?
Whitehurst. And Marshawn Lynch.
I mean, he can throw and he can run.
Marshawn Lynch, man.
So I kind of understand who would pick Seattle if you were picking Seattle, because 10.5 points is a lot of points.
And they're playing at home. It's one of the toughest stadiums to play at in the NFL.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they say. It's one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL is Seattle. So I'll still take New Orleans.
Really? 10.5 points.
You have to, right? Seattle's probably one of the worst teams ever in NFL history to make the playoffs.
Okay.
So you have to go, I'd have to go with New Orleans on that one.
Okay, so Mo's New Orleans. Darren's New Orleans. Cody is Cody.
I'm going against the Saints. I really am. It's a lot. It's just too many points for a playoff game. I can't justify that. I couldn't live with myself if I took that. It's just that's so many points for a playoff game. And I know the Seahawks are a terrible team. I know the NFC West combined, if they put it together, an all-star team wouldn't even make it out. Wouldn't even make it to the Super Bowl. But I think that's way too many points to be giving away at home. It's in Seattle, which is a big home field advantage for that team.
You know, Cody, each time that you and I go back and forth and say, "Oh, that's way too many points," we always lose. But I'm gonna go with you again. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, New Orleans, great team. They're not the team that they were last year. Drew Brees, always confident, always a leader, always finds a way to get his offense going. You know, when you think it's gonna just die out. But I just don't see them beating Seattle, whether they play Hasselbeck or Whitehurst. I do not see them beating Seattle by 10.5 points. My pick is Seattle. And Weeze's pick is Seattle. Okay.
Seattle with the points.
Weeze, you're a smart guy. Wherever you are tonight, you're a smart guy for picking Seattle. All right, guys. So that does it for our picks for NFL. I mean, it's playoff season, so that's all we have for this week for games. But let's go back and look at our host records. Now, we're going to go from worst to first, as I like to do. And yours truly has the worst record. I'm so embarrassed, guys. My record's 8-18. Okay, and then Cody's right behind me, 9-17. Misery loves company, Cody. Misery loves company. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Darren, why are you not? Darren's 9-13 because Darren fell off the face of the earth.
I went home and just disappeared. I didn't answer any emails.
So Darren decided he wasn't going to answer emails during the holidays, so that's why his picks are off. Thank you for the sound effect. So Darren's going to be disqualified to win the Mega Millions jackpot tonight because he does not have all his correct picks. Okay, and then we have Weeds at 12-12, and then Mo and Andrea are tied at 12-14. Mo and Andrea, what is your secret to?
The secret is there is no secret.
Okay.
It's a coin flip. I mean, you could do as much guessing as you could be as analytical as Cody. We see what record he's got.
Okay.
Every week he comes with this big philosophical thesis on reference to why this is going to happen a certain way. Doesn't turn out. That's why they call it gambling, right? I mean, that's what it really is. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no sure way to know, and you throw it out there, you make your best educated guess and see what happens.
Andrea is telling us in the chat room she just goes with her gut. She goes with her gut. So maybe next week I'll go more with my gut. I think I went with my gut this week. I think. I'm not sure. So maybe I didn't go with my gut. Okay, let's go on to our Super Bowl picks. Let's move on to our Super Bowl picks. Okay, so the beginning of the year, Mo, you picked AFC Colts, NFC Eagles. Are you going to stick with those picks, Mo, or are you going to switch it up?
I'm obviously a little hesitant on the Colts, but I'll stick with it.
Okay, so you're going to go Colts and Eagles?
Yeah.
So Colts and Eagles in the Super Bowl.
I'm not going to change it. Who would change their picks now?
Because we were told that we could change our picks once we actually got to the playoffs. So you have the right to change your pick, and we won't judge you. There will be no discrimination.
I'll judge you.
No, I'll stick with my guns. Yes, I'll stick with my guns. I mean, I'm very confident in the Eagles. Obviously, the Colts are the huge long shot there. So, but I'll stick to it.
Okay, Darren, how about you?
My picks were Ravens, Falcons.
Oh, yep.
As much as it kills me to stay with the Ravens because my Pats are doing so good.
They are.
They're doing so good, but like, this is just not a New England Patriots team, you know? Like a New England Patriots team right now would be going straight to the Super Bowl and winning it. I can't say that about this team right now. So I'm sticking with the Ravens because honestly, I think we're going to meet them in the playoffs, and I think we're going to choke, and I think they're going to like really take advantage of it.
So you're going to stick with the Ravens, and you're sticking with the Falcons.
Yep.
It's pretty incredible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know. Please forgive me, Bill Belichick.
I mean, Tom Brady MVP, Patriots
I
would love to see it. No, trust me.
About it.
There's nothing that I would like to be more in this instance than wrong. Like I want to see those Pats get to the Super Bowl and win it, but I gotta.
Okay. Andrea has to change her pick because she picked the Chargers. Andrea, why'd you pick the Lightning Bolts? Change that pick, girl. Andrea, tell us in the chat room who you're changing your AFC pick and if you're going to stick with your NFC pick. You had
Let's go with the Pats.
You had the Falcons. So
the
Andrea's going Patriots. Andrea's going Patriots for the AFC. And who are you going for the NFC, Andrea? You're going with
Staying with the
Falcons. Andrew's staying with the Falcons. Okay, Cody, you, my guy, who are you going for, AFC, NFC? Are you sticking with yours or are you changing it up?
Why in the world would I change mine? I mean, come on. I'm looking like the golden boy. I should have put some money on my Super Bowl picks. This is phenomenal.
Okay.
I'm definitely staying with Atlanta and New England for sure. No doubt about it.
I might be, I guess not. I don't know how I feel about the Falcons. I mean, of course, I want them to go to the Super Bowl, obviously, but for some reason, I just don't know that they are going to be the NFC team. Is that crazy for me to doubt that? I mean, is anybody else doubting that at all? I guess let's see. Nobody else is doubting that except for me. Okay, I'm going to go Patriots for my AFC team, and I am going to go Falcons for my NFC team. Is that smart?
Yeah, Falcons, definitely.
Patriots?
I love the Patriots, but like, I just don't. I think we're gonna.
Okay. So I'm going Patriots Falcons. I'm gonna take a page out of Cody's book and go Patriots Falcons. Going to what, Dallas for the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah.
Going to Dallas.
That's why the Cowboys were favored at like the beginning of the year before even a snap was taken. They're like, Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl, and then they went like 0-5 to start.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Make sure you guys come back. I know we've been gone for 2 weeks, but we are back. There, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks left before the Super Bowl. So you have to come back every Tuesday night at 7:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time to join us in our Ustream chat, to watch our live YouTube broadcast, to talk noise with us in the chat room. You have to follow us on Twitter at TWI Football, or you guys can email us at football@thisweekend.com. We missed you guys, but we're back for 2011 with some great picks. All right, guys, until next Tuesday, I'm Erica Renee Davis with Cody Swan, Darren Dodge, and Mo Ali. We will be back next week. See ya.
Peace.